Good day, YouTube. It is Sunday. It's February 10th, 2019. And here's a 210 after a good long day yesterday. I put a video up yesterday and then actually continued to work on it a little bit. Got the hood hinges all functioning and put the hood back on to where it closes and everything. Let me get over here where the light's maybe a little better. There we go. Got the seat springs put on. Got the new seat put on. Got the tins put on this side. And she's starting to look like a real tractor. Really starting to come together. It's been kind of a fun project. Remember, we picked this thing up. The engine was out and bad, and the tins were all off of it, and things had kind of gotten stuck, and switches kind of went south, and we got it kind of put back together. Excuse me. So today the task is to get the belts put back on. So the rear belt, just kind of hanging there. The front belt was just kind of sitting here. I didn't buy new belts for it. Let's get these on and make sure everything works. And then we'll go about maybe putting new stuff on there. Put new stuff on and have it all just get shredded because something else was bad or something. So I see I've got this piece here off. I've looked at some YouTube videos. I don't know how the instructions were, but I don't think they was everything I thought they'd be. But maybe there's differences in like 210s to 212s and stuff. So what I see I have to do is I pull this bolt out here, and then I'm taking this bolt out here so I can get this whole bracket out, because of this thing here is going to keep me from getting the belt on. So I've got to get that all out of the way, slip the belt on, and put it all back together. I had pulled, this stuff had all been removed when I got it, kind of stuck back together, and I'm not really positive how well I put it back together. But it seemed to be okay. I didn't have any reference. I didn't take it apart. So I was putting stuff back together. It was fairly complex, or it seemed at the time, but I have it put back together the way I believe it's supposed to be. So the only thing I didn't have accomplished was to get this in over here, behind here, and up where the linkage is. And it was all kind of apart too, but I've got the linkage working from the handle down here to all the doodads here. When I put this back together, I've got to somehow get the pin in there. That looks to be a little challenging, but we'll get it. Then we'll put that piece back together. Then it should be fairly easy, provided this is the belt it came with it. I hope it's the right belt. You know what I mean? Other than that, I'm winging it. So, let me dig in and start getting into this thing. Hopefully it goes together just like I said it would. Other than that, once we get this thing that far along, I think we want to get it off the lift, and maybe just set this aside for a little bit, as long as it runs and drives under its own power. And I want to get the 140H3 in on the lift and see about making it run. So that's the task for today. Let me start getting into this thing. I'll turn you back on when I have something interesting to talk about. Alright, I think I have the belts on, and I'm just going to give you an idea of what I had to do to get these things on. Remember, I've never owned one of these before, and I didn't take this one apart. So I'm learning as I go. So get that pulley off, no big deal once you have this apparatus off. I think the only trick thing is going to be putting that pin back in, which goes back through there into the linkage that's up there. Here's a little tip that maybe y'all want to grab hold of. So this is just an old truck mirror that I find I use a lot for working underneath things. So you can see the variator pulley in the mirror. It just helps you. You have to, working on a lift is very convenient, but it's not like you jack it up and you're crawling underneath it. So it puts you in a contortionist type situation if you don't have the mirror. But anyway, the belt for the rear was already there, just was taken off the variator. So we've got that back on. And now we've got this back on. The one thing that helped me that I didn't see anybody put in their videos on these things was to tie the clutch pedal forward. So I did that. I put quite a few knots in it. There. Now, belts should all be tight. Yeah. And then the variator should have some functionality once it's running. So, I think at this point, let me do that again. Working with a mirror. Yeah, that one's not tight yet. Anyway, we'll figure out the rest of this and get this thing running, and then get these belts to tighten up. The pulleys are all one direction, so, but it's not going to move until it runs. So let me put this thing back together and try and get that pin in, and we'll get this thing back down. This thing should be able to run and drive on its own here before long. That'd be cool. It'll be the first time in many, many years. All right, the belts are all on. I hope. I think they're good. By the way, we got a little bit of snow last night. It's kind of all melted off now, but 28 degrees out according to my phone. So it's time to start it up. The things that'll be left to do if this thing runs and rolls on its own, I'll put this body panel back on this side. We still have this brake to free up. It is stuck like nobody's business. And the steering's very, very stiff. It wasn't working at all. I pulled the steering wheel, which I still have to put back together, and dumped some ATF and oil down the tube. Got it to move, but it's really hard. I do have a bearing kit. It's the same for this as for the 140s. But as long as I can steer it and move this thing around, I don't think I'll get into that right now, because I really want to get the 140H3 in here and see if we can get it running. It's the one of the 3 tractors that I bought together that I haven't tried to get running yet. So, without further ado, let's see if this goes under its own power. All right? I know the belts have to align themselves and all that stuff. Okay. We're going to try it together. I think I'm just going to stick the nut back on the steering wheel. In fact, give me just a second. Let's put the bushing in and everything too while we're at it. I have to tap that in, probably. Give me a minute. Get a hammer. Baby hammer. Wheels are sort of straight. Put it on the side that way. I just don't want to grab and hold the steering wheel and have it fall off, have me fall on the floor. Sort of back on there for a moment. Alright, now let's try it. I wish the seat was farther back. Guess I can work on that. Click. Turn. Clutch. Steering's hard, but it's easier than it was. My seat adjustment's way forward, but we'll work on that. It goes under its own power for the first time in how many years? Don't know, but exciting that it does. I am going to put the other side panel back on it. And might clean it up just a little more. And I might look to slide that seat back substantially. Inches. And might move it off the lift today. Move the 140H3 on, see if we can get it running. That's going to be fun. That's the holy grail tractor of the 3 that I bought. And I really want to get it to run. At least know what I got. So, but it's a good looking tractor, isn't it? Get it all kind of put back together, cleaned up a little bit. I have been struggling because I have so many lawn and garden tractors. What I'm going to keep, what I'm not going to keep, because I just don't have room for everything. Initially, this one was probably going to go down the road, but I think I'm going to keep it. I think this might be my mower. So we'll get into the steering and the mower deck on this at a later date, this spring or something. And this one I might keep for mowing. The 140H1 and 140H3 will have implements front and rear, and that's the way they'll be. They won't get used much. They'll just be toys, if you will. But this has been a fun project to take it from something that was blowed up and disassembled to getting it all back together. So give me a few more minutes and we'll get the side cover back on and we'll clean it up just a little bit and we'll close this video out and move on to something else. See you in a minute. Well, there she is, gang. She's running under her own power for the first time in at least many years. Let's do a little drive-by. Steering's still pretty stiff. I'll address that later. And then we'll figure out a mower deck, and I know we got to adjust the variator and stuff, but it functions. So that's a good thing. All right there. All right. It's fired up. Idles down nice and quiet. Charging system works. Our new amp meter works. LED headlights, taillights working. I got a little wax to clean off there. successful project with some fine-tuned enhancements to come later. But that 140H3 is just dying to be on the lift, and it's dying to run by the end of the day. Thanks guys for watching my series on the John Deere 210, for commenting, subscribing, and remember, these videos come absolutely free to you, but if you hit the like button, it's like putting a penny in my piggy bank. I appreciate that. We'll catch you on the next video.